What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be speaking on Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk speaking on truck drivers, foreign truck drivers, specifically foreign truck drivers that don't speak English, being a weapon on the road, basically being a danger to other drivers and citizens and whatever, because they're not able to read signs and so on. Let's play the clip. Let me share my screen with y'all, and we're gonna share our thoughts and yeah.
And unfortunately, it seems as if it is realized. Essentially, we have a illegal alien, non-English understanding truck driving problem in this country. In Florida, there was a guy that was let into the country. His name is Harbinger Singh, or Harjinger, I guess. Ironic, where Joe Biden let him in the country, gave him a work license. He got a commercial driver's license, was not able to read English, only got 2 out of 12 on his proficiency test country. And then he did an illegal U-turn on a highway, kind of watching while all the rubble and the bodies were taken out. How common is this, Mr. Secretary? And why have we been putting up with it in years past?
So listen, this has been brought to them. This is something that the department has been working on for months. Have too many people who have come into the country. They might have even gotten work permits, and they can't speak the language. What Washington did for this driver, giving him a full Charlie, that's reserved for American truck drivers, American citizens to have that full-term CDL. And then California gave the same a CDL to him as well when his Washington one expired. But here's the real problem. We came out in May and said, listen, English only are critical for safety. And now some of the left gave us blowback and they gave us pushback and they said we were being too harsh. They were anti-immigrant. And we said, no, this is about safety. You have to be able, as a truck driver, to understand the road signs, but also if you're pulled over, you have to be able to communicate whether you're at a...
Will always criticize anything the right does, whether it's the greatest thing for the country or the craziest thing for the country. They will criticize it regardless, because they pander to a lot of immigrants, and even me. I'm an immigrant. I came from a different country. I came to America when I was 12 years old, and I just did the paperwork, did everything the right way it came, and yeah, and I'm here till this day. But what I'm trying to say is the left will always criticize the right, no matter what. They be talking about them having to work together as a team, but they could never seem to work together as a team. Anything the right does gets criticized by the left, and that's just how it is.
Oh, what are you carrying? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? You have to be able to communicate with law enforcement. And so this driver was pulled over in New Mexico last month in July. After our initiative was fully in the works, and they failed in New Mexico, and they pulled him over for speeding to give him the English test. And had they done that, they would have put his vehicle out of service and taken him off the road. But because they didn't follow our directive, he went back on the road and was able to commit this horrific crash in Florida, taking 3 innocent lives with them. And so, again, we're doing what we can.
Chat, y'all just think about how dangerous it is to have somebody on the road that does not speak English, driving this big vehicle, big truck, and just not being able to read the street signs, not being able to understand anything. Like, for example, something could be dragging on the back of the truck. You drive alongside them, try to tell them or try to signal them, they wouldn't be able to understand it. It's just a lot of things that could play into that. And then they get pulled over. The cops can't even understand them. They would have to translate everything they say. It's just, come on. If you're gonna be operating a huge vehicle on main streets, on main roads, on highways, I feel like you should be able to understand English. You should be able to speak English. English is the primary language in the United States. It does not matter where you're from. I'm from Africa. Came down here when I was 12. I learned English fast. It was no way for me to communicate with anybody. I had to get down with the program and learn English pretty fast. And I did it. And I think everybody else could too. So it's not safe to have anybody on the road driving if they don't understand English. Does not matter if there's truck drivers, it's just in general. You gotta be able to understand the road signs so you don't get people hurt.
At the DOT level, we have to ask for states to participate with us because driver's licenses are issued in the states. We are in an investigation that we can take to inflict some pain to guarantee that our states are complying with federal law and regulation.
So you need to be able to communicate on a two-way radio. If you have to be able to know where are we going. So he can't read the road signs. He can't talk to police. He can't talk to people about what he's carrying. So he doesn't understand English. We have discovered, though, this is not just a minor problem. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of these. I think a lot of people in the audience would agree that driving on our highways, it feels much that you have semi-trucks gone all over the place. And now it makes sense because we have a bunch of driving tests. This guy did not even pass the test adequately. So, and if his English was so bad, how did these cops just let him go in New Mexico? Half stop. Do you have any insight into that, Mr. Secretary?
That's because these trucking companies, they're not willing to pay Americans their full rates and their full salaries because they're being cheap. They rather somebody that's not gonna ask questions or somebody that's just in desperate needs, which is probably somebody that just moved in from a different country, most likely. So they use immigrants, and those immigrants, it's basically like the training is basically like you're paying to play. You gotta pay to play. So if you pay, you will get your CDL. It's no whether you're going to pass it or not. If you pay for that training, you're automatically getting your CDL. It does not matter if you fail it or not, because the trucking, the CDL, the people, I guess the CDL classes and stuff like that, they're not really the training companies. They're not really doing their job. They're just cash hungry. This is where this problem is coming from, because they're the reason why these non-English speaking motherfucker is getting a CDL, getting on the road, and then not understanding that you can't make a U-turn on the highway. You just can't. You just get off the exit, then get back on the highway, go the direction you're supposed to go. That easy. And you could have just done that and not hurt anybody easily. You wouldn't have been in jail right now. You wouldn't have been in jail right now waiting to go to prison. Like, it's just simple. And I think he's getting extradited back to his country. But it's just like, come on now. Who does a U-turn in a tractor trailer on a highway?
So insight specifically, that's why we're having an investigation. I don't want to comment on that specifically, but I will tell you that in some of these states, you have liberal governors who don't want to comply with the law, and they think that they know best, and that we're just trying to be mean to illegals. But whether you're going to fly in an airplane, you're going to be on a train, you're going to be, you deserve to be safe, and you expect that your federal government is going to have smart policies in place that do keep you safe. And again, they just blatantly in New Mexico said, we're not going to comply with federal regulation and give him that road test. By the way, Charlie, I mean, let's lay out what happened here. It's a 4-lane highway with the grass in between, and usually have those pieces of whether it's gravel or concrete where an emergency vehicle can turn around on that freeway. This driver right lane, slowing down into the left lane, trying to get into the into a turnaround, which is not authorized for a truck that size. but he blocked the whole roadway. So this is just common sense. This is a common safety practice that any driver would say this is completely unsafe.
Yeah.
Whether you could read the road signs or not, but when you have a complete disregard for human safety and for the rules in which anyone should comply with, just as a human being, not even as an American, it's even that much more shocking.
I agree, and I know you have to just sit while I say this, but common sense, yeah. If you're raised in America, we know not to do this. But if you're raised in the third world, like okay, yeah, go drive in New Delhi. They're doing all sorts of goofy stuff. They're avoiding cows. They're doing, and I know you're going to fix this.
Chat. My take on it is this: if you don't speak English, it's not safe for you to drive a truck in America. At least you can drive a truck in whatever country you speak their language in. But in America, for you to drive a truck, you should be able to understand and speak English, be able to understand the road signs, just for the sake of all of us, just for the sake of everybody else, brother. Don't go on that road driving if you don't speak English, please. Because that's how all this bullshit happened. 3 people in that car. Just gone, just like that, because this guy decided to make a U-turn on a highway, and you're in a tractor trailer. This guy really deserves the jail time. He deserves it because only a moron, a fucking. What do you have in your noggin? Like, do you have a brain right there, or you just have a rock there? Like, you must have a rock there instead of a brain. Like, you just see a goddamn opportunity, you see a space that makes you think you could turn right there, and you just jump on it. You didn't even look back to see if it was a car flying down. You gotta really make sure there's no cars coming at all. You shouldn't be doing this at all, any fucking way. I see people doing it in their regular cars, like little SUVs and stuff. I'm not gonna say I never seen anybody done it. I've seen people do it, and it's still not legal. But let me tell you something. They do it, they get away with it because they're in smaller vehicles. Somebody in the tractor trailer should not be doing this at all. It's just irresponsible. Imagine the family of those people, the family of the victims. My heart goes out to them, man. May God help them in these hard times, for real, because it's messed up that because of this illegal alien, illegal immigrant, just probably looking for opportunities, but just did it the wrong way. Chat, y'all be careful out there. Do things the right way. You're gonna avoid a lot of trouble. You're gonna avoid a lot of headaches. Just do it the right way. If you're getting a CDL, go to the right training, go to the right CDL school. If they're doing illegal stuff, just don't get your CDL from there, big bro. Get you a refund. I guess make a report or whatever you want to do, but get your refund, get up out of there, go to a real CDL school where they're training and actually teaching people to do their stuff and not go out there and not speak English and go hurt people. With that being said, thank y'all so much for checking out the video. I love y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to be back with some more content. Thank you.